After owning 3 Honda Shadow VT1100s, I've uncovered what I believe is the bike's biggest friggin' problem and how to fix it. When you buy an 1100cc motorcycle, you kind of expect it to feel like 1100 cc's. And for a lot of riders, the Shadow 1100 does not deliver that really warm, fuzzy feeling in your rabbit fur-lined jockstrap area. But why not? Well, I'm about to share what this big problem is, why I think it's a big problem, and what you can do about it if you own one, or are thinking of buying one, or if you should just go home and shut the up. So stick around, because if you miss this, you won't know whether to live with it, fix it, or put it on Marketplace. Now, after owning and shopping just about every Honda Shadow out there, I bought a Shadow 1100, absolutely hated it, sold it, bought it again, and then bought another one. Anyway, I was pretty disillusioned with my first go around with this model, but here I am, up to my chapped nipples in 1100s, and with good reason. Now, if you like this video or just love seeing me, hit that like button, all right? It helps the channel and tells me I'm one good-looking son of a. And as a way of saying thank you, I'll come do a video or two in person instead of this AI avatar you're watching now. Just kidding. AI couldn't dream of a salt and pepper beard like this or say f as much as I do. It's really me, so you can click the like button. So, what's the big problem? Biggest problem with the Honda Shadow 1100 isn't reliability, comfort, or build quality. It's that Honda left a lot of performance on the table in its stock configuration. But they did leave the keys on the table, so to speak, for how to fix this, which I will get into. Now, before everyone loses their minds in the comments, make sure to check out this full video where I cover why everyone's buying this bike right now with the full list of pros and cons. And I put the link in the description just for you. But we need to have a little family sit down here. Chin down. About the one thing everyone feels the first time they twist the throttle on this bike. When I employ the fancy word underpowered, I don't mean unusable or dangerous. But come on, man. I mean, this bike is 1100 cc's, and it makes about the same power as bikes with way smaller engines.
I can get 70 miles to the gallon on this hog.
Now, boner stock, you're looking at roughly mid-60 horsepower at the crank and a bit less at the wheel. That's just not very impressive for an engine this size, even by 90s standards. I mean, hell, the Rebel 1100 gets about, what, 85 plus horsepower out of the box. But that result of lower horsepower in the 1100 wasn't an accident. It wasn't due to oversight, and it definitely wasn't due to laziness. So why is this a big problem? I will tell you. Honda wasn't trying to build a beast. They weren't sitting in the boardroom or at a desk like, let's scare people. No, they were like, you know what? Let's build something that starts every time, idles perfectly, and will still be running after the apocalypse right alongside the cockroaches and algae. So instead of some wild cams and high compression, they went full dad core. I mean, just listen to this roaring stock exhaust. It's awful. They literally busted out the Kirkland denim or Dockers khaki shorts that are too long for shorts but too short for pants, the New Balance 608 V5s, those tall white crew socks, and a tucked-in crappy t-shirt to top it off. Oof, so choice. Now, first off, we are talking very conservative cam profiles, and okay, how can I explain this?
Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
A conservative cam profile is like telling the engine nice, slow, controlled breaths. Nothing extreme, no hyperventilating. So the valves don't open as far or for as long as an aggressive or radical cam profile, which keeps everything calm, quiet, and efficient. But it also means the engine never takes a big, deep breath. And if you can't breathe in a lot of air, you can't make a lot of power.
Yes, science!
And next up is that very mild compression. Now, compression is how hard the engine squeezes the air and fuel before it lights it on fire. High compression is like squeezing a balloon really hard. When it pops, it's loud and very arousing. Mild compression is more like a cute little stress ball. You squeeze it, it does its little thing, nothing crazy impressive happens. Now, Honda chose mild compression so the engine stays calm, runs on regular gas, doesn't knock, and never has a bad hair day. So what's the freaking trade-off? Well, if you don't squeeze very hard, you don't get a very big boom. And no big boom boom means no big power. So there's even some more science for you. Really basic science. These factors, coupled with restrictive intake and exhaust, and ignition timing that is so safe, it's basically wearing a helmet and a neon vest on a short bus. This motor is the epitome of Zen. This bike is doing yoga while all other engines are doing that salmon humping CrossFit pull-up garbage, and the 1100 is just over here at peace with the goddamn universe. It's wonderful. And that is amazing for reliability. Now, you can ignore this thing, call it names, commute on it, ride it half-tuned, rip it across the country, and it's still gonna wake up every morning like, hey, we doing this again, son? I am so down. Now, but the downside is the utter lack of excitement. Boring. You roll the throttle expecting something that at least is mildly dramatic, and the bike is an absolute wet blanket on your hopeful boner vest. See, Honda built this engine to live forever, not put some lead in your pencil. But I do have a secret way to get more out of this bike than you ever imagined, and I will share that with you in a moment here. Now around town, the bike actually feels really good. Good torque right off idle, smooth, predictable, very easy to ride. It's happy in traffic, happy leaving stoplights, super happy just cruising around like a well-trained golden retriever. Until you ask for a greyhound. Then you find out that dog don't hunt. The second you ask it to do anything extra, which is like passing someone on the freeway or rolling on that throttle at 70, or just have a little moment of fun, that is where you start to go flaccid.
You've gone soft.
Now you twist the throttle expecting the thing to wake up, and instead it just kind of looks at you like, whoa, relax there, buddy. This ain't a jig, sir, we're already doing our best. 65 is just fine. There's no surge, no hit, no seat of the pants thrill. It just doesn't pull harder. It literally just gets louder, and that's it. And for me, that's the most frustrating part. The bike feels like it should have more. It feels like there's literally something missing. You're not scared, you're not overwhelmed, you're just absolutely underwhelmed. So we know this bike is literally the catfish of power, but is there anything that can be done? Oh yes. Now a silver lining to all this, actually, no. I'm gonna call it golden lining because I like gold better. Now the golden lining is a bit ironic actually. The 1100's biggest problem is also why it's becoming one of the most desirable cruisers of its class in the used market. Now the extremely conservative tuning means the bike has a lot of room to grow. Basically, installing the right intake, exhaust, and tuning with the right parts, and that bike will wake the flock up. Lots of things in life aren't great out of the box. Flour, it tastes like until you mix it with some eggs and sugar. Gasoline gives you a rash, stains everything, makes you smell like a salacious sex demon, but put it in your motor and now you've got speed. Now an 1100 in stock condition is slow and freaking boring as hell, but I promise you drop in a max performance kit and you've got a hell of a muscle bike. And if you're one of the many riders that are already riding the Brutal Max Performance Kit for the 1100, please drop a comment and let others know what you think. So, the absolutely coolest thing about this bike is the treasure chest of performance booty that you can get with some affordable and easy to do performance upgrades. Again, I dropped links in the description so you can check these out if you want, along with several more of my favorite 1100 upgrades. So the 1100 wasn't built to be a showstopper, penny dropper, mean, lean, screaming some bitch in stock condition. It was built to be reasonable and reliable, like a good wife in an old Western movie. But turns out, when you roll back that throttle, it's actually that vapid influencer chick whose photos totally say she's wild and can seriously put out with all 1100 cc's. But then you get it, and it turns out she can't cook. All she knows is McDonald's, charge the phone, twerk, be bisexual, eat hot chip, and lie. It doesn't put out at all, just wants you to leave it alone to watch Love Island in sweats while shopping on TikTok and buying more selenite crystals for the good vibes. Yeah, that's pretty much the stock 1100. It's time to stop playing the role of that snowflake cucky boyfriend who just takes pictures of her and let the neighbors know how big your balls really are. They are dinosaurian, just
best balls I ever had. You got King Kong balls.
Now, if you want to hear what the 1100 sounds like with a max performance kit on it, watch this video next. The sound is freaking dope.